We're here at Mount Lees because this was where you chose to be interviewed. So what's significant about here to you?
Well, I only really discovered this place maybe a year ago. I knew it was here, but I'd never been in, and came in for a kid's birthday party actually, and was just blown away at how beautiful the place is. And it's peaceful, it's lovely all year round, and so we come here a lot with the kids, come and play on the adventure playground, and the kids can run around and it's safe. I like playgrounds where you don't have to stand by a slide where you've got to kind of, it's quite boring, stand by the slide, make sure everyone's safe, whereas here they can run, which I like, and we can walk and they can pick up sticks and throw stones, and I get a bit of fresh air and exercise at the same time. You seem like the person that wouldn't be a helicopter parent. I try not to be, for a lot of reasons. I think Dougie was about 18 months old at the time, we did one of the walks, and my heart was in my throat the whole time, because the walkways, kids can always slip down a bit or hurt themselves, and he was carrying a massive stick and there were other kids, and so I was glad when that was over, but I did my best not to kind of stop him from having some fun.
You have one child, is that right, and the stepchildren? Yes,
I've got one of my own, he's 2.5, and then 3 older stepchildren who are 12, 10 and 8. The 3 older are quite close, but they're a cool little group, the right ages for that. And then there's enough that they're really helpful with my little boy Dougie.
So. And they get on well with Dougie as well?
I mean, as much as you can get on with a toddler who, is wanting to be in your stuff.
You have quite an interesting background. Can you tell us a little bit about your time in the Armed Forces?
I was in the Air Force at Oahakia. Most of my Air Force career was spent at Oahakia, not far from here. I think I did in total about 10 years, and I joined the Air Force after university. I had studied science and went into the Air Force as an aerospace physiologist, supporting the training of aircrew and medical personnel for that environment. So new pilots or people training to be pilots or air warfare officers or all sorts of roles would come in, and they would get I'd say lectures on what happens to your body at high altitude, what are the physics of the environment, those sorts of things, and then there was practical things that they would do to prepare for that, because it can be a challenging environment depending on the work you do. It was really the start of me understanding teams, how people perform together for whatever purpose, and leadership. So really got to understand what leadership actually means, what leadership in different circumstances means, and that there's kind of a core set of skill or awareness, self-awareness that comes with that, but how you might apply that in different circumstances is different, of course.
Sounds like perfect training for a robust council discussion.
There's a few things in my previous experience that help for robust council discussions. Absolutely.
I take it you're into some sports then?
Oh, this is the odd bit. No.
Really?
I was never very sporty, have never been very sporty. I have done a few things. I'm not very coordinated, I'm hopeless at that sort of stuff. But I did manage over the years to do a couple of half marathons and 1 marathon.
That is half a marathon more than I've ever run, so very impressive.
Well, yes, I wish, it's one of those things, I wish I kept it up because it's easier to maintain and get back, but life is busy and it's hard on your body too.
So what do you do to relax?
It's a cliche. I spend a lot of time in the garden. That's probably, so about 4 or 5 years ago, I bought a lifestyle block. It was a blank canvas. A big part of that has been planting. There was no, besides some grass, there was no plants. So we've done a lot of planting, and I like the idea of growing some of my own food. I say some because actually it's really hard to grow vegetables and fruit. Like, everything is trying to kill our plants. So we've got clay soil, we get too dry, too wet, too windy, we get rabbits, we get, even the chickens, and they plucked off all of the leaves of the feijoa trees.
Really?
Didn't eat them, just plucked them off for fun.
I would not expect that of chickens, but yeah.
No, I didn't either.
Chickens seem like annoying animals to keep.
Well, we did have to rehome, and I promised we did rehome 2 of ours that would always get out of where we have them in our orchard, and I'm going to call it orchard. It's a pretty sad state of affairs.
It's like one apple tree.
Yeah, well, all the things that keep dying that have to keep replanting. We have them in there, but there was 2 very clever red shavers, which are those quite common chickens, that would just get out regardless of what we did, and they would dig up the rest of the garden, and poop everywhere, which is really nice. And so, 2 of them found new homes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
When you said rehomed, I did instantly think oven, but
No, they were rehomed. I'm not sure how they're surviving at that home, but
yeah. So you relax by gardening. Do you have any passions outside of that?
well, I suppose it depends what you mean by passion.
Well, what sort of motivates you to get out of bed in the morning, or
Well, I get harassed out of bed pretty early, usually now.
Children and spouses are very good motivators.
Yeah, I love music and festivals and culture. I can't play an instrument again.
Yeah.
One of those things I'm not good at. But I do love, experiencing live music. Been to WOMAD over in New Plymouth a few times. And those are the things that I really enjoy. Much harder to do now, as a parent, but I do try, and even things like watching YouTube in the evening with different music or whatever, and that helps.
Do you have a favourite artist or a favourite band?
I'm really eclectic. I'm sure everyone says that. Yeah. Love New Zealand music, so Fly My Pretties, have you heard of them?
Yeah, I went to university in Wellington in the mid-2000s.
Oh,
I
right.
know all about Fly My
Right,
Pretties.
yeah. I think I've seen them about 7 or 8 times.
Oh no, you got it on me, yeah.
So, and that's a real mix of all sorts of different artists coming together to make amazing music.
Yeah.
And so, then you follow that thread, and you've got different styles of music, which, there's not a lot I don't enjoy. Who else? Oh, a good Australian rock band like Midnight Oil. A little bit of activism, which I like to think that, maybe in an alternative universe that could have been me.
Yeah.
So, as I said, not a lot that I don't love.
So this is your first term on council. How are you finding it so far?
It's been a very steep and intense learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think, 8 or 9 months in from the beginning. Lots to learn, obviously, about the breadth of the work you get involved in. There's relationships to build, both within those kind of council groups, amongst elected members or with council officers, and then all the groups out in the wider community that we work with. And, that's not, that relationship building is not complete, and probably never would be. So, it's been full on.
Yeah.
It's interesting. People say either during campaigning or now, like, why did you run for council? I didn't have a particular platform. I wasn't outraged about something. I thought I had a set of kind of skills. I sound like Liam Neeson. I thought I had some skills and ways of thinking, and particularly probably skills around relationship building and bringing people together and finding a common ground that I thought would be useful.
What is something that you'd like to achieve by the end of the term?
I am always very curious about the economy of the district, and not just the district, because it's all interrelated, right? The district of itself is a very false thing around boundaries and different ways of looking at it. But we've got a really strong primary industry here, which is great, and we need to think about how we continue to contribute to that economy being strong. But we should also be asking questions about how do we support innovation, change, diversity of economy, so that we are well placed to survive, challenges that may be coming or may come in the future. And look, the way we exist these days, it's about global challenges. So the economy is something I'm really curious about. It's not it's not a fast fix, it's not a quick fix. So those are some of the relationships I'd like to build a bit more around understanding, the work that is done in our district. How does that contribute? What are the challenges? Where are the opportunities?
Thank you very much for spending 10 minutes with.
Oh, you're welcome. This was much easier than I was hoping for.